Thank you for tuning in. My name's Andrea Kennedy, and I've been practicing Reiki for about 25 years. My full-time Reiki practice was really centered around seeing clients in person at my office located inside a medical facility. Due to the coronavirus, I'm not seeing clients in person there anymore, and I'm doing all my sessions via distance Reiki. Practicing Reiki from a distance might seem a bit odd, but it actually works very well. I'll put a link down below in the description of this video that'll take you to an article that explains about distance Reiki and the physics behind it. I've found over the years that practicing Reiki is very meditative. This means that when I'm offering Reiki to another person, my mind gets very quiet, and it's in this quiet space that I often receive insights about what's going on with the person. In fact, I've also transcribed messages that I've gotten from a higher place for the person that I'm working with. The purpose of this video is to share what happened 2 days ago when I had a distance Reiki session with a nurse who works at the University of Michigan Hospital in Ann Arbor. That hospital is now dedicated to treating COVID-19 patients. And this friend and client of mine has just volunteered to begin working in the ICU. She felt she had to do it, and that's why she volunteered. I conducted the Reiki session at a distance, and like always, had my notepad handy. I wrote notes and then took down a message for her, and I'd like to share that with you today, because what came through helped her immensely, so much so that she wanted me to share it with other people that might work in the healthcare field on the front lines with limited supplies in a time of high anxiety and stress. Here's what came through in the session. There's an energy around the heart and lungs that consists of fear. That is all. You were made for these circumstances, felt a soul's calling, time to shine. You are brave and courageous, which does not mean you are without fear, but you are asked to trust in the higher calling. Trust you have prepared for these times, and more than your training, but your spirit as well. We see you there. We are with you there. No, this is no accident that you are present in the times on earth. You hold space, you act, you call others home to the light of their worth. Be still and feel this now. We ask you to remember your sacred vow to uphold all that is of the light. Be free in your knowing you have done so, and refrain from harsh judgment of yourself and others who know not what they are doing. They have just awakened from an age-old slumber and are still unaware of the magnitude of these times and their role in what shall be historic and monumental in the rise of humanity. And we promise it is so, rising up to behold each other in ways now being searched out by their spirits. The remembrance of who you, each and all are, is occurring. This is truly glorious, but not without pain and suffering and hurt and worry. There is much confusion as the path forward is obscured from your knowing. We lead you with each step, asking you to feel us with you now and always, never abandoning you, even in what seems like the darkest of times. Behold, all is made new in remembrance of who you really are, eternal, holy, one. In these words, take refuge and find enduring love and support. We are with you. This shall pass, and greener pastures lie ahead for you to discover in the evolution of your souls. It is a wondrous time to witness the unfolding. And it was at that point that in my mind I saw a beautiful butterfly that had just emerged from a cocoon, unfolding its wings for the very first time. And it was beautiful. Be still and know the truth of it now. You are well in your knowing. The message sort of quieted down, and then I attended back to my client, and I intended that I would offer Reiki to the top of her head, to her crown, like I would normally do in a session. But it just didn't feel appropriate or right for me to do that. And instead, what I did feel was appropriate was to envision her within my hands and offer Reiki to her whole body. And it was at that time that in my mind's eye, I saw her, and then I saw her encircled with light beings, beings of light. And maybe those were the light beings giving me the message, I don't know. But she was surrounded by these beings, and they were beaming energy to her, healing, loving energy. And I wrote about it here. I said light beings were all around her, healing, balancing, and loving. And then the most unexpected, beautiful thing happened. They then dressed her in personal protective equipment made of light. You could see through these things, but they were illuminated, and they moved from the light beings to almost dress her. She received a mask and a gown, gloves, pants, a head covering. All of these things moved in and dressed her, and I was astounded. What I wrote next was, then they dressed her in PPE made of light, mask, gown, gloves, head covering, etc. I then received instructions from these light beings that I was to relay to her as a healthcare worker. And after reading this back to her, we both agreed that we would tell whoever is out there also on the front lines these same instructions in hopes that it may help someone out there. Envision this each time you suit up with whatever physical supplies you may be limited to. Know these are only energy, and you have in energy whatever is required to keep you in safety. So you're invited to, every time when you are faced with suiting up for work, see, as you place a mask on, see in light an additional mask that will add on or even supersede what you physically have to use. You can put on your physical gloves and see gloves in light, adding extra protection. If you don't even have a proper gown to put on, perhaps envision, imagine, and create in your mind the gown that you put on. Thoughts are things. Thoughts have energy, and we are co-creating our existence. So please consider empowering yourself with the thoughts and energy of creation to work with energy in ways to support yourself more fully. After the instructions of healthcare workers dressing in protective equipment made of energy to offer another layer of support for them, I wanted to go back to the crown of the head and do what I described earlier. It just didn't feel right again. And so I had to keep doing the Reiki for the whole body. And then this is what I wrote down. Whole body session with biofield or aura, because she is a whole system. All of the parts communicate and work together, and now it is more important than before. Then I had a realization in my mind, like the states acting alone versus the country as a whole. Unity. All is possible in unity. Despair is the outcome of separateness. You may envision yourself as a light body, caring for your patients, exuding healing light and transmuting all harmful substance in your presence. Light flows from you, away from you, to all others. You may take this further by inviting Jesus to embody you, to use your physical body as an instrument of healing. Let his hands be your hands, and do the work of partnership with spirit in helping and healing your fellows. And in the case of death, know it is ordained, not by you, but by covenant between the deceased and their maker. It is a holy act and occurs at time of agreement, and that is all. The deceased live, but no longer in the diseased body. Peace comes to all. Rest is warranted by the soul and occurs not by accident. Know all outcomes are holy and sanctioned by those who pass on. Do not feel failure in any aspect of fulfilling your duty. You are supported and loved at all times, and never solitary at all. no matter how it may appear. We are one with you now and always, in all ways. Be still and know this is true. Eat, stay nourished. A strong body requires food and drink to carry out right thinking and processes. Retreat in quiet meditation to replenish all you have lost. Regain equilibrium and perspective. Strengthen your resolve and courage. For you are not weak. Do not assume it is so. Grounding is good. Be the tree of strong-rooted, unwavering resolve, and rest in the knowing you are well. Thank you to all the healthcare workers out there working on the front lines of all of this illness and despair and stress. And no matter what sort of equipment you have, I hope you know there are so many people banding together for you, sending energy and love and healing and whatever we can your way. We might not be able to send you the equipment that you need, but we send our support, our love, and our gratitude for all that you are sacrificing and putting yourselves through in order to serve in this selfless way. I hope the idea empowers you to connect your mind and your body and your co-creative nature in a way where you might feel more safe and secure given the circumstances that you find yourself in. And above all, know, please know, you are not alone. Many, many are with you. And we thank you for all that you are doing. We wish you the highest blessings.